It's Namsa here at Ngozi Talk Shows, the Find Your Own Voice, lead from within. With me today, I have Dr. Biget. How are you, Dr. Biget?
I'm doing awesome, Numsa. And how are you, Numsa, and our audience?
We are awesome. I'm sure our audience are awesome too. Really awesome. And we are happy to have you. You've not been here with us for a very long time. You moved home and hopefully everything gets sorted out and then you can come in very often. So our topic today is finding true love. Finding true love is deeply personal and a transformative journey that many of us desire to embark on. So it's a journey that requires self-reflection, openness, and willingness to take risk. So in this video, we're going to unveil love as a guide to finding true love. We will explore step by step and principles that can help you to navigate the path towards discovering and nurturing and fulfilling authentic romantic in relationships. So through self-discovery, self-care, and setting intention, and you will be equipped with the tools and mindset to attract and cultivate a love that aligns with your true self. So what do you think, Dr. Biget, when you about this topic, finding true love?
As you say, Numsa, it's a topic that many times it's a subject that many times people say, oh, I want true love. Would love to be able to have true love in my life. And understandably, love is one of those things that bring a lot of good to us. And at the same time, I discovered by now that sometimes people say, I want to be able to have true love in my life. And when we ask them, so what does that look like to you? What is true love to you? So if you are listening to this and you say, I want to find true love, and I want to have true love in my life, then for you to be able to find anything, then you need to be able to know what does it look like. What is it that you would love to have in your life? What is, if it is the person, what is the character? It's just kind of like, if you say I want to have something and then you don't know what you're looking for, then you can say, okay, I want to find money. And you don't specify, the universe might give you a penny, right? It's money. And you say, no, it's not what I want. It's like, oh, okay, after a few times, maybe we'll give you a 5 cents coin in here in the US. You got to specify what is it that you would want. So I invite you to our audience to say, what is true love for you? Is the very first step. What does it look like? What does it, even more importantly, which I can share in a moment, what does it feel like in your heart when you are with your true love? And what about you, Numsa? What is, as a relationship specialist, what is finding true love meant to you?
I like it, Dr. Bickett, when you talk about you have to ask yourself, what does true love look like? Because everyone is different. Everyone defines true love is different. But everything comes down to one thing. The step of finding true love is knowing yourself. So you have to know yourself in order to find that true love. You have to reflect on your values and beliefs. which is all about you. And then you have to explore your passion and your interest. Like Dr. Biggett, you mentioned that if you say you want to find true love, the universe will want to know. You have to be really, really specific. I love that when you say be really, really specific, because when you speak to the universe, God is the universe, and the universe is God. That's how I believe. When you go to God and tell God, you don't tell God that, God, I have gone through challenges in life. He does not want to hear that. He already knows what you've been through. The universe does not want to hear that with the challenges you've gone through. It does not want to hear that you're not good enough, because the universe of God sees you more than enough. So knowing you have to know yourself and being specific with your desires and going to God, or whether you go to God or you believe in the universe, you say, God, this is my desire. What do you desire? What is true love? Is true love somebody money, or you want somebody who's got money? Or is what is true love? So you have to define it as an individual. For me, when I asked God, I worked on myself. I got to know myself. I got to know my beliefs. I got to know my values. And I had to create my true, authentic image. And what else did I have to do? I had to be true to myself. I was living in a lie, being a follower, following people, my character. I'll follow everybody else, neglecting myself. I had to work on my soul, my within, my inner world and my outer world. But the mistake I did was to work on my outer world. I made sure that I work on my outer world. And in a way that when I stepped outside, I made sure that I didn't step in the mud, protecting my soul, protecting my wardrobe, my outer world, but neglecting my soul inside of me. When I made that decision, I said, I need to look within, I need to find myself. Myself was already there, but I was neglecting that self. So when you know yourself and then you go to universe, my declaration to God was, God, you know my life, where I've been. You know where I need to go. Just give me somebody in my life that will complement my path, that will complement my destination, my destiny. When we are born, our destiny has already been prepared. But if our destiny has already been prepared, like if I'm born to be a leader, and if I get married to a control freak, do you think my leadership is going to come through? It's not. So here's me putting it all out there and saying, God, you know, my life has been messed up big time. But right now, my way is not working. Show me the way, lead me the way, give me a man unapologetic that will complement my life. I don't go for the guys that go to the gym 7 days a week. I always look at them and judge them. That was me before. I judge them. Like he's a player. I don't want to date the guy. But my surprise when I wasn't looking for a guy, I got to meet this guy. He was like, goes to the gym 7 days a week. And I was like, God, I ask you to give me a man. You give me this guy. He goes to the gym 7 days a week. He's like, he's a very good looking guy. But I was like, okay, you've given me this guy. Now I need to do my work. You know, when God presents you with whatever you ask for, you still have to do the work. And for me, it was to sit down. That's how I became a matchmaker, actually. I sat down with this guy and I gave him an interview. But when I gave him an interview, didn't realize actually I was interviewing him, because I'm very, very playful. When it comes to playing, I can ask any questions that I want from somebody without them feeling intimidated. So I had to work on in front of the mirror. I had to work hard. So I asked him interview what I needed to know. The handsome didn't exist at that moment. Having six-pack didn't exist. Being tall and being the spit image of David Beckham, it did not exist. Because what we do is we get blinded by so many things. So to me, it didn't exist. All I needed was this guy. Is he gonna like? Are we gonna walk hand to hand for me to reach where I need to go, for him to reach where he needed to go? He passed everything, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna see how things go. That's my story. Over to you, Dr. Bigot.
That is so funny. Like, hello, God, did you see?
I
No,
think
no, no.
Fatoba is, what is Fatoba saying? He says the bird said, I can't read. I can't read broken English. It says the B-Day's kiss said future to say, I have no idea what it says.
Oh no.
And then it's got loads of love and loads of love you, love you, love you, love you, Fatoba, love you, love you. But can't read. Can you write proper English? I always say to my daughter, please, when you speak to me, write proper English. I can't read DA, all this university broken English. Over to you, Dr. Bigets.
That
I'd love
is
to
that is
hear
so
what the true love. What do you define true love? How do you define it yourself?
what is that this is a funny thing though, Numsa. So and this is an example. So a beautiful example, right? And Numsa says to God, allow me somebody that will complement my path. And you're very true. If you're meant to be a leader and you are with somebody who's a control freak, that will hamper your journey as a leader. But Nusa says, allow me somebody who, or bring to me somebody who will complement my path. And she didn't say to God specifically, by the way, the person should not be going to the gym 7 days a week.
No, you know when I said to God,
You know,
yeah, when I said to somebody who compliment my path, because God already know my ending in life. So
exactly,
I needed
exactly.
him to actually give me that joy.
Right. And it's he and the universe do exactly just that, including and in that package, because there is back to the specificity, because you did not specify the person should go to the gym maximum 5 days a week. You first bring somebody who goes to the gym 7 days a week, which work out fine. And that is the other part for me, is being able to well, not be a control freak. And it's a very funny that you mentioned that, because it's a similar thing happened with me with my significant other. He actually he goes, he work out like 6 days a week, 6.5 days he call it, and for a couple hours a day. Now he's very successful otherwise, and it's not like that's the only thing that he does, but he does work out for a couple hours a day, and this is for 6.5 days a week. And at some point, and when I first met him, I that actually was appalling to me, and partly because my former husband used to do the same thing. How goes to the gym 7 days a week or 6 days a week, and he actually was going 7 days a week until it started causing some muscle damage and some other things that even shows up in his blood, and then he back off the 6 days a week. Anyhow, so there was a part of me that was not healed, even though I've done all this personal development work by then. When this person who is otherwise awesome with me in every way imaginable I was listening to him and I said, wait, what do you do with exercise? You exercise a couple days a week for practically 7 days. And I was like, that. I was like, as if he was a vampire or something like that. I'm like, you God, not another one of these. And he was awesome in multiple way otherwise. And I was speaking to one of my mentor. I was like, this person is great, except that, oh my God, I was like, what kind of people? And my mentor says very calmly, says this and that. And when I said about that, he says, well, he does well in every aspect, other aspect of his life, though he's very successful and this and that. I was like, yeah. He's like, well, at least he has a discipline to be going to exercise at 4 in the morning. And also look in yourself. I think that is something that there is a healing that you still need to do there. And that's all he says. And I understand, I've done this work and being a grief specialist, I understand enough that a grief recovery institute that has a saying that the practically all the main reasons that people messed up their relationships and their opportunity in relationships is because of an unhealed past. And sure enough, I look back and I say, well, hello. I didn't used to have anything against people going to the gym 7 days a week. Except that I haven't. There is, even though I thought I've done everything to heal to my heart, apparently there is a piece that I've forgotten. And what a beautiful opportunity it is with this gentleman. At that time, I've only seen him 3 times. What a beautiful opportunity to be able to heal my past further, and I'm grateful that I did that. But I love your your example of when you lack of specificity, the universe will bring to you, and sometimes even though with me, I do these things in the interest of specificity, Numsa. I write down 50 things. 50 things that of what you would love. It's kind of like if you are to buy your dream car or build your dream house, you would want to say, okay, if it's a dream house, the house is 2-story and it has a balcony and it is facing west, and this is the neighborhood, right? And on and on and on and on. So you want that, and that's one way for you to be able to have specificity. Write down 50 things to start with of what it is that you would want. And at the same time, hold it with an open hand. Like Numsa, the way she does it is allow me somebody who compliment because she trusts God. Now, does it mean that you cannot have any preferences? Of course you could. And that's when you write them down. But at the same time, I wrote down that the person does exercise moderately. Yeah, I said something like that. Exercise eat with good health, exercise modestly, and I even put in parentheses in my list. Back then, I say 3 to 4 times, maximum 5 times a week. And so when the package came, I was like, wait, a lot of things in here fits well, but what up is this? Well, I was like, what does the universe fall asleep with this particular item? And no, when something that you ask and you're very specific about it did not happen the way that you asked for it, look in there, because usually, almost always, it's an opportunity. Now, it might not be an opportunity you particularly want, an opportunity that universe know that you need. And so that's the other thing is you can write down of the 50 list And do you do this NUMSA with people whom you help? Ask them what are to make the list and specificity, and see if there is a certain opportunity that they need to explore when they first working with you. You're
Yes,
muted.
you can write a list. I speak to my clients, but the list that I basically don't want is to tell me that I need, like, let's say, if you tell me that my man has to have blue eyes, has to have brown eyes, because there are some clients that tell you that I am obsessed with the guy with blue eyes. And I'm like, you mean you want me to set you for guys with blue eyes? Are you kidding me? Okay. Yeah, so they do say that. Um, but for me, it's like what is important is your values and your beliefs, the real ones, the things that like non-negotiable. Like when you say like Nomsa, these are my values, these are my beliefs, and they are like I cannot negotiate them. I like that when somebody tells me that, and also when a man or a woman knows exactly what they want. A educated man, if you date somebody who is not educated, who has got time, who is lazy, who does not have time to do anything, who spend time on social media, do you think a relationship is going to work? So those are the traits that you have to look when you're looking for love. You got to look for somebody who is similar to you. There could be a guy maybe or a woman who has got degrees, or maybe there's a woman who hasn't got a degree but she's smart. That's what I'm talking about. She's smart. She knows how to mentor her man. She knows how a businessman behave, or maybe a man who hasn't got a degree but a very smart, very dedicated his life to read, to learn the skills. That's what I'm talking about. So when I'm talking about, like, I'm not saying like a doctor has to date a doctor. I'm not saying that, but a doctor has to date somebody who's actually thinks like him or like her, or a lawyer or somebody, or let's say somebody like I'm here on social media. I need to date somebody that thinks like me, a businessman or somebody who they don't have business. If they have 9 to 5, but they know exactly how my mind works as a businesswoman. I'm okay with that. So it's very, very important when you date somebody, you need to the first thing when you go and sit down on a first date with somebody, first date is unsure. You cannot know everything. But second date, third date, you need to ask yourself the visions that you have, the world that you desire to have in life. Is this woman or is this man going to carry me through this world? Because life is tough. And life being tough, there are some like men who are lazy. There's some women who does makeup for living. All they do is getting dressed and wash up and look good. They don't have vision. So if you are that man, you're gonna date that kind of a woman. So you have to know what you're getting yourself into as a man. So it's very, very important. I like it, Dr. Biggett. I like it when you say be specific. For me, asking God to search through my heart, I knew what I wanted. My list was already in my heart. And I wanted him to actually give me what's in my heart. I didn't want a half of it. I needed him to actually look at my life, where he's been and where I'm going. And you can write the list. Like Dr. Biggett said, you have to be specific. She wanted a man. When she says, by the way, I needed a man who goes to the gym, like who does exercises 3 days or 5 days a week, she knew her lifestyle. She knew what kind of food she eats. And she knew that she does exercises herself. So she wanted somebody that is going to understand her language, not to question her. If you date somebody who does not care, who doesn't care about health, and you care, so it's going to clash. So she knew exactly what she wanted. So that's what she means, that know exactly what you want. And she also mentioned part of her wasn't healed, which is most people, they don't recognize that, they blame the other person. For me, everything was healed. Like, it's like I fasted for 40 days. It was like I did not want, I just wanted to focus on me. I wanted to know the real me, my identity, my image. So I went, okay, I'm gonna go on a fast for 40 days and 40 nights. I fasted. On my last 40 days, I was like, the last week I was all about forgiveness. It was all about forgiving myself, forgiving the people that were in my path that have hurt me, that the things that, forgiving myself for not taking opportunities, for not recognizing that I was good enough. Because we got to a phase where, I don't know, Dr. Pickett, if you've gone through that phase where you feel when you get rejected by men, or women get rejected, or men get rejected by women, you start questioning, are you good enough? So I went to that phase where I was questioning myself, am I good enough? Why is my relationship ending up in same cycle? So all those things, I had to forgive myself because I am good enough. And I had to forgive myself. It was all about forgiveness. And I came to this path where I find myself now that I was out of that dark cloud and I was in the light. The light was beautiful. Now I needed to share that light with somebody else. So what I can say to somebody, if you are looking for true love, like what Dr. Bigot said, if you are not a Christian, you have to write things down, what you really, really want. If you don't believe in God, write things that you want, because you want the universe to have mercy and bring you and tell the universe what you really desire. For me, it's all about telling God my desire. I was applying for a business loan the other day. I even got a business loan. This woman, she took my ID. She did not send my ID. And today they called me and said, can you send your ID? I was like, I've already sent my ID. You gave me the loan. And she was like, no, we don't have the ID. So I was like, you mean you gave me the loan without complete identity? I was talking to myself now. And then I realized it was Gary's work. Everything that you do in life, you got to have something that you believe in. At least if you don't believe in God, believe in the universe. Because the universe right now, like what Dr. Bigot said, be specific. You can't put a face, I'm afraid. You cannot say, God, give me a man that looks like George Clooney or David Beckham. You cannot say, God, give me a woman that looks like Princess Diana. You can't do that. You can write everything. This is a tip for the people, because what happens is, if your destiny woman is somebody who God has selected or who the universe has selected, and once you put a face on it, you will end up with the wrong person. So you can write anything else, your values, your beliefs, but also you know what kind of girls you go for, but don't write that the face. Because if we write the face, that means we're writing the face that we've met before, which will be our exes. Yeah, that's why I'm saying don't write. So you'll be looking for somebody who looks like your ex. So I don't know, Dr. Bigot, what do you think in this part where people, they actually write, they become specific, and even they become specific with the eyes, with the hair. They're like, I like blonde. Sometimes some things are fetish. It becomes a fetish. That's how I say it. Because when a beautiful woman walks into the room, Dr. Biggett, or a beautiful man walks into the room, you don't need to worry about blue eyes. Honestly, I don't know. What do you think, Dr. Biggett? We're talking about the beautiful inside out.
Yeah, I love that. It's one of those things. Many times people forget that physical, and by no, by all means, it does not mean that you should not have certain preference. And keep in mind, I use the word preference, not demand. Now, certain things, as you say, Numsa, your values are very important. You want to know what are some of your top 5 or at least top 3 core value. Like what, like she says, one of my number one core value is health. And so if you do not believe in being healthy, that probably would not go well with me. While on all the lot of other things, what we are able, keep in mind that we're only able to see and then therefore ask what our experience has allowed us, which is just in a different way. Numsa said, if you're writing about the physical characteristics, it's usually either influenced by your ex, or perhaps you did not have the best completion of your relationship with your ex. Now you say, oh, you know what? Well, the person's before was blue eyes and 6 feet tall and has 6 packs. Therefore, now I only want everybody who is not blue eyes, they better be the taller than 6 feet. Or but then it's either based on your ex or based on your pain. Neither case is a good thing. When when it is so caught up, or it is based on everybody else's opinion. So, for instance, nowadays, at some point, now it seems to relax out to the other end again. But let's say 10 years ago, or it's 10 to 20 years ago, everybody says, well, you want to be size 0 for women. And this is the image of women, you know, the waist is about the size of that, and this and this and this and this and this. Who decide that? The modeling industry. But then a lot of men says, oh yeah, you know, look at all these women. This is the definitions of beauty. So this is what I want. And this is the same thing the other way, actually. Okay, you know, a man need to have a 6-pack, and it is to be this, and it to be that. It need to be this height and this hair color and this hairstyle, and on and on and on and on and on. Who decide that? The era that we happen to live in. If you were to go back, say, to the Middle Age, what beauty at the time for women is to be able to be voluptuous, is the word that we use now. They did not back in the day want women who look like a toothpick. and then the same thing at some point in life. The well wanted gentleman has nice long last hair, not semi-bald, right? And so if it is so much about physical, it's usually again either society opinion, which part of it might be yours. You might particularly truly do love people of certain image, but it's usually an image. It's not a very obsessive, your eyes has to be blue and your hair need to be this color or something like that. It's something where yes, you can have a certain image that you prefer, and at the same time just know, is it truly you? So like Numsa say, is it truly you? and also ask the questions. Numsas did her healing in a 40-day fast. Now, many of us might not be either able to because of medical reasons or want to because of whatever other reasons to do a 40-day fast. You still want to do the healing. I'm a grief coach, a grief recovery coach, but there are also multiple other ways where you want to be able to heal your heart such that what you put in is not from social media saying A, B, C, and X, Y, Z, and then a decade and a half later it changed, or it is something from your wounded things. Sometimes people in the this is something I discover a lot. People who come from an alcoholic family, understandably, they are wounded and they're traumatized, and then they have a very pronounced reactions. Now, this is by no means I'm promoting anybody to start drinking alcohol. That's not how it is. But some of them say, well, you know what? This person is all good, but he will drink, or she will drink at from time to time, not all the time, but oh my God, I'm like, but just the word of alcohol is just make me super angry and scared and bring back all my trauma. Well, then I hear you. And I can only imagine the pain you have been. And at the same time, if anything anybody says, anything anybody do, just only make you say, oh my God, the way I was with the exercise, then you might just want to look into yourself and see if there is an opportunity for you to work. Because at the end of the day, this is the other part. When you create your list, when you know what it is that you would want, you want to be a matching for that, which is what Numsa says earlier. If somebody who is, let's say, think broadly, then if you say, okay, I like to discuss about this, it's all this and that, and able to think like like an entrepreneur, a business person, and then you met somebody and you are with somebody who will not go in that aspect, who think very oppositely than you do, and a lot of other things, then now that might not be that might not go well. Somebody who is educated or I would say, and this is something that many times we talk about, many times people who are highly educated, and they said, and this is some things that I actually did in the past as well. I said, okay, so I only want somebody with a minimum of a master degree. Can you imagine? No, but for many people, if you look at my CV, you say, oh, but that is definitely understandable. I have postdoctorate degree. And for many people, they say, well, you only ask for somebody with a master degree. You should ask for somebody with a postdoctorate degree. Now, what you want actually is not the degree. What you want is somebody who is able to think expansively the way you do. And my significant other, as well as the person whom I was with for a while after my former husband. My former husband too have 2 master degree, by the way. Now, but my significant other, as well as the other person, one of them did not even have a college degree, but he's able to think expansively. He's able to, he's a super successful international businessman. And so while education is important, degree is important, this is coming from somebody who, if you list all my certifications and degree, it's not only fill the lines, it's fill the whole page. What you want is the thinking ability. What you want is the success habit. And so that is something that just and again, we want to say, like Numsa says, you want to know your value. You want to know what is it that if you ask for somebody to be, like you say, Numsa, if you ask for somebody to be ABC, where are you in that ABC? Back to you, Numsa.
Love that, Dr. Bigot, when you say your other half has not got a degree. It is an example that, but he is very smart. He knows what he wants. It is an example that some people are born leaders. They don't need degrees, but they work hard to keep their character, to keep their image, and they know exactly what they want in life. So that is the kind of a person that you need to date. You just need to date somebody who is going to allow you to become the woman that you want to become, and at the same time they become who they want to become. You mentor each other, you motivate each other to actually fulfill your dreams in life. We all have dreams. Just because we enter a relationship, it doesn't mean that our dreams end. So it's very, very important for those who are looking for love, and also look for things that exist. Some people, I like what Dr. Bigot said. You mentioned core values. Core values are very, very important when we are looking for love. Like, what are I mentioned this before as well. Your top 5 core values that are non-negotiable. And also, uh, um, stay focused. Like Dr. Bickett, you mentioned that if you stay focused on the looks, and that's why I teach my clients, if we stay focused on the looks, what happens when the look changes? It means the love fades. If you date somebody because you like how they look, is the main reason why you're attracted to that person, that looks will fade away, and that means the relationship will end, because they won't look the same. The looks, if you look at my pictures, how I looked a few years ago, now I look different. So the look changes. So it's very, very important when we date somebody, we go deep, really, really deep, and we look at ourselves. Are we what we are looking for? For me, it was all about knowing what I want and asking God to go and search for me. Give me the men that will represent, who complement my path. Knowing that what I'm asking God to go and find, I have become that. I'd worked really hard within changing my authenticity, working on my authenticity. So I didn't have time to date a man that is going to tell me that I'm not good enough. And there's so many things that you look for in a relationship. If you look for, like when I say you don't put a face on somebody, it's very, very important, because we don't know the woman that is going to enter our lives and serve us as the queen, and the man that is going to enter our lives and serve us as the king. So that king that is authentic is out there. So we have to make sure that we find that king. Your personality traits are very, very important, and also identifying your love language and attachment style is very, very important. Like for me, if you come and give me a gift, expensive gift, you're not gonna win my heart. But if you give me time, 1 hour spending time with me, I admire that. I'm a family person. I just like men who like to give time. Give me time when like to have a chat, to have some fun. If you go and buy me $1,000 gift and you think Nomsa is going to be really, really impressed, I won't. But if you give me time in 1 hour and then you go and buy your gift, I'll be very impressed, because it means you know what I want. You can't, to me, you cannot buy me. I am just Nomsa, who is very, very simple. I live a very, very simple life. And I like to be spoiled, yes, as a woman, but that's not my main values. That's not what I value about life. So you have to, the language and attachment. I don't know about you, Dr. Biget. What do you think about love and attachment style?
Everybody has their own way and preference and what sings to your heart. And yeah, that is part of knowing your heart. There is many times, keep in mind that when you talk about true love, where is love coming from? Love comes from your heart, true love, not up here, and not on your body or not your clothing. You might love clothing, but that's not true love. And so you want to know what is in your heart and what is need to be improved or to be healed in your heart. Now, please don't take this as means making you a bad person. We all, the grief recoveries has this very interesting saying, which is very true. Anybody who is older than 7, probably anybody who is older than 5, really, because then most people start to be able to really remember things. Anybody who's older than 7 or 5 has opportunity, if you have not done so, have opportunity to release some of your past trauma and wound. And it's not, your past trauma is not necessarily that you are in a abusive childhood. Your past trauma could be you witnessing things outside of your house, and it's traumatized you. One of my clients has one of her trauma was witnessing somebody on the road, so much so that it's impact her, that she actually from then on afraid of being slim and trim in her heart, and therefore she become very obese for a good part of her life. And some other client whose past trauma is actually witnessing something where make him actually concerned about being in a relationship openly in public. And that's definitely hampered to a good degree being able to be close. Even for himself, he felt that. And so that's some things that you want to know what speaks to your heart and what's your heart need to clean, but also what appeals to your heart. And like Numsa says, and we call the fancy term is the heart, the love languages. But it's basically what feels good to you. And for some people, what feels good to you, it might be a lot of compliments. That's what your heart able to receive. For some people, it is gift. I know some people who are otherwise wonderful, amazing person, and yes, they're being able to be provided time is wonderful. Now he or she usually are the type of people that run at 100 miles an hour. And they're like, yes, I do want people to share their time with me, but honestly, I run 100 miles an hour, so I don't expect much of anybody else, which is, an indications that they know themselves. And I'm actually one of those. I run practically in some part, when I'm doing tour and whatever. I literally goes from like 5 in the morning to 10 o'clock at night. Like, and it's like everybody's like, whoa, okay, stay away. And so what is that? Some people it could be gifts. And now not it does not mean, and you like sometimes in these societies you're like, oh, I love people giving me gifts, and then you said, and because of society says, you're like, oh, I guess I'm materialistic. No, that might just be it might just be something that you love. And gifts doesn't have to be one of the most expensive gifts. One of the most memorable gift that I received in my life is actually from my former husband, and we were both students. he was walking down the street and he find this really beautiful wildflower, and he picked it up. He plucked the wildflower, so it cost zero, and brought it back and put it on my pillow. That's gift. Doesn't cost a penny. So you do want to know what's in your heart. What's in your heart and what speaks to your heart is, and if there is anything that is not your heart. Imagine your heart is like a face, like a bowl. Now, if there is ink there, there is junk, there is dirt. You want to release that, so you are able to allow more goodness and not confuse and cloud your heart. And just like every bowl tolerate, receive or goes well with different things, knows what it is that your heart prefer. In other words, what's your heart, your love languages.
Love that, Dr. Biget, when you say what's in your heart is very, very important to follow our heart, as long as no fantasy, because sometimes the people, they use fantasy and they think that is real, but it's not real. They watch reality TV and they expect that kind of a relationship. I'm afraid that relationship only exists on TV, because that's why it's called a reality TV. In real life, it doesn't exist. So, and also, Dr. Bigot, you mentioned that releasing trauma is your past trauma is very, very important when you enter a relationship, to make sure that you release your past trauma, because you don't want to wound your spouse with your past. Our past is there to help us learn the skills, to help us reflect on it. It's not there for us to blame ourselves or us to take it and transfer it to somebody else and wound that person. So it's very, very important to work on yourself and your mindset as well, like Dr. Bickett was mentioning about her and her spouse. Mindset is very, very important. Embracing self-care is very, very important. And like we talk about trauma, releasing trauma, it means healing and self-love, understanding the power of healing, recognizing your needs for healing and self-love is very, very important. And also practice self-compassion and forgiveness is very, very important, because there might be, if there is any part of you that is not forgiven the past, your relationship is not going to work. And challenge your self-talk as well, limiting beliefs, work on your limiting beliefs is very, very important. And also boundaries, guys, is very, very important to create boundaries in your life and principles. I mention this every day, that God has commandment. He has 10 commandments that if you want to enter my kingdom, this is what I expect of you as a person. So as a man and a woman that is looking for love or that is in a relationship, what are your principles of life? What are your boundaries in life? Or are you somebody who just live by and just don't care about life? You let people enter your life and take advantage of you. So those are the things that you need to look at. Is very, very important. Like when I enter your life, I need to know, by just talking to you, I need to know my boundaries. And I need to know your principles of life just by talking to you. And you have to communicate those principles of life to your other person. If you start dating them, you go exclusive, or they need to know the boundaries, what you can tolerate as a person or what you can't. And also the relationship, hard work, it has to continue. There are some people, once they meet the love of their life, they don't bother working anymore. They're like, why do I need to work hard? I found what I've been looking for. I really don't need to uh, get dressed. I don't need to go out. Why do I need to go out for meals? So all those things, guys, they are part of date nights. Watching movies at home is part of date nights. So you can actually create the life that you want, design it. And when you design it, keep it up. Because when you design the life that you want, it means the other person. And also, if you feel that the person is not for you, don't date them and think that I'm going to change this person, because it won't happen. Like myself, I wouldn't change for somebody else. That means if I change the person that I am to fit somebody in, I'm going to be miserable and that person will be miserable. So that is not a relationship. It's very, very important to know who we are, what we want, what we desire in life, our boundaries, our principles of life, and embrace your self-discovery. And also gratitude is very, very important when you reflecting on your goals, like when you are in a relationship, who are you becoming? Like Dr. Biggett, you mentioned down writing things, and engage your sense as well, and practice self-care regularly, and trust. When you are in a relationship, stay open and trust the process. You know, the process of life is different. We don't, there's some things we have control over, there's some things we don't. Just enjoy the ride. Trust means I'm trusting in that high power out there. Me, I trust God. I say God, even with my children, I don't worry about my children. I trust God, and I say, God, here's my children. I cannot raise them on my own. When they go out, every shop they go to, watch over them. So we just have to trust that process and trust the people that we're dating. Enjoy the love that we've been given by the universe, by God. Enjoy it, every moment of it. Don't stop admiring your lover. Be grateful that they're there in your life, they're part of you, and just enjoy it. Over to you, Dr. Biggett. Do you have any comment, or do you have any word of encouragements before we leave? And
Yeah, I
also
would say,
remember to tell the audience where they can find you as well.
yeah, I would say my last message for this is, yes, true love is possible, but you got to know yourself. And if you want somebody whose heart is clear, we need to be a match of what we want. So if you want somebody who's loving, whose heart is clear, and all these things, you want to be that person first. And if there is a part of you that is need to be released, you want to do that, such that your heart is like a vessel, like a bowl, and the more clear it is, if your love is like milk in the vessel, something like that, the more clear it is, the easier it is for you to be able to bring into your life somebody else. There is a saying, you cannot attract flies with vinegar. So if you want to do, it's possible, but sometimes it does takes a little bit of work ahead of time. And back to and your questions, Numsa, on how to find me. I'm Dr. Birgit Tens, your grief specialist and coach and speaker and consultant and author. And you can find me in multiple ways. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram. You may also directly email me if you have any questions, or perhaps you don't like certain thing that I said. I'd love to hear if your opinions too. You can email me at daftar10 forgrief@gmail.com. It's DRTAN forgrief@gmail.com, like it says on the bottom of the Zoom screen there. And you may also find me on my website, joyfulrichesbeyondgrief.com.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Biget. And for me, my words of encouragement be like, find true love. It's very, very easy. Just be authentic and know what you want as a woman. And the fact that there are people that say, I'm struggling to find the true love. I'm wondering why other people are finding love, while am I not? Finding true love is very, very easy. You just have to be ready for it, because you can meet love anywhere, on the train. You could walk on the train going to London and sit next to somebody and they say hello, and then they're the love of your life. So anyway, just the character, the mindset, the image, it has to be ready. When you go out, if you're single, look like somebody who is single, decent, dress decent, look after yourself, and find the true love. Smile more in front of the mirror. Learn to smile. When you see people nowadays, life, they still, people, they're like grumpy. So smile more. Somebody will stop you, like you say, well, know what, I like this girl, or I like this guy. When you look at somebody, look at them with grace, free spirit. So it's very, very important. And knowing yourself as well is very, very important. And if you are looking to connect with Dr. Biget and I think Dr. Biget has just said where you can connect with her as well. So you can find her at Hope Spring Eternal Introduction Agency, www.hseia.com. And you can find me there as well, or on my social media platform. I'm not on TikTok, guys. So you can find me on any other platform. You can subscribe to our channel as well, and join our Ngozi Talk Show group and Unique Billionaire Mindset, and share the video. If you happen to be watching the video, our talk show, please share the video for us. And God bless and have a beautiful weekend. Please continue playing for Carol Ann. She is still recovering, and God bless you all. Live with